Calais, you were the mayor of Saxonville down in Jacksonville. Are you expecting any nickname here in Atlanta?
I mean, usually that's the fans that create the nickname or the media. I don't know who usually coins those terms, but I definitely expect to have an explosion of success on defense, and hopefully we come up with something cool.
Hey, you're bringing a wealth of experience to this defensive line. What does the preseason do for a guy like you who's plenty experience like yourself? What does that bring for you?
I mean, the same as it does anybody else. Just knock off some rust. You haven't played a game. January last year in playoffs. Last time I really played a real game. So going into week one, could I get ready without going to preseason? Probably, but I'm gonna be more prepared if I get reps in preseason and I get a chance to, go out there and just knock off the rust. Play football. When it's competitive and you're really going against somebody full speed, it's different. I don't care how hard you practice, you just can't replicate that at all. So, but football is a fun game. I think the thing that sucks most about preseason is the stats don't count. I've had a bunch of stats in preseason over the years, and I'm like, man, I wish those counted. The worst is when you block a kick. You block a kick in preseason, and then they're really worried about you. They're focused on you. Got to get them long to sleep a little bit to block a kick in the regular season. So,
Calais, you had an opportunity, I'm sure, a few teams. What was the biggest draw for you to come here?
It's a combination of a few things. Honestly speaking, the Falcons weren't on my radar at all at the beginning of free agency. And, but the more I started, doing my research, the more I was talking to, Coach Art Smith and Coach Nilsson and talking to Terry Fontenot, we just got into a position where it was like, they're really building something there, and I started doing research on the roster, doing, my due diligence and just trying to figure out, could this team be, could it be something, and I think, Grady Jarrett is a big part of it. I know what I'm a fan of his. I have been for a while, and I know what he's capable of doing. And, then bringing Onyemata over, I thought that was huge because I know what he can do. I've seen him play for a few years. As a D lineman in the NFL, I pay attention to other D linemen. When you watch the tape, you're like, ooh, that guy's explosive. That guy can do something. So you start kind of paying attention. You're like, okay, and then I think the combination of with Lorenzo Carter and Bud Dupree, those guys, just you see that they're very explosive. And then you're just a whole bunch of young talent, And so you see it all, kind of lining up, and you're like, wow, this D-line could be scary, if we put it together. And so,
Strong room, I was going to say.
yeah. Or I can go, the name and the list of the young guys too. Those guys are talented as could be. But when I was making my decision, it really came down to like, okay, the DBs I think are going to be strong. Linebacker core, I think Caden Ellis, proved that he can be a good player in this league. And I think what it really came down to it though is Coach Nilsson and being able to really believe in his scheme and what he wants to do. And we were having a conversation. He was really specific about just kind of the role where he sees me, and he's really specific just about how the defense does things. So it's a very long-winded answer to say that it really came down to the defense coordinator and the players we have here, and then also the game plan and playing against Coach Smith. Over the years when he was in Tennessee, knowing that he has really good game plans, that he can put some points out for us.
You said back in March or April when you signed that 60% was your goal.
Yeah.
Snaps. Is that still there now, like midway through camp, and kind of now how you've seen?
Yeah, we plan to rotate, pretty much, fresh line rolling. So in theory, it should be 50%, I say 60 because I'm thinking like 2-minute situations and stuff like that, but, we'll see how it goes. They will rotate there too. So it's probably gonna be more, depending on how things go, if we're healthy, 50-50, but, it's gonna be fun. We're really putting it together pretty nicely. Obviously, you want to kind of, want to get too excited. You want to keep everything, just level-headed and smooth right now because, obviously we ain't did nothing yet. We have a lot to prove. And so, but you see the potential, you see it developing, you see the confidence build, like, wow, we can do something. And that's a big part of this. So, I'm excited about the opportunity. I know the guys are too. It's going to be fun getting out there and playing some ball together and, kind of just, building our rapport, building our hunger and trying to create our identity.
Yeah, this might sound weird, but when you're saying 50-50, are you guys almost envisioning it like hockey lines?
Essentially,
Yeah.
go hard as you can go and then rotate, and then just keep everybody fresh and going, I mean, that's how it's been going so far in camp, and we'll see how it goes once the season starts. Now, when games on the line and big moments and stuff, guys who are the most productive, showing up in big moments, they're gonna put those guys in the ball game. So I think it just comes down to, trying to, whatever it takes to win the ball games. Well, we believe we have a strong, deep lineup.
I don't know yet all the personnel groupings you guys are going to use up front, but when you and Grady are on the field at the same time, what do you think you can do that will benefit him?
I think running games will be beneficial. I think he understands. He's a very smart, intelligent player. I like to consider myself very smart as well. And sometimes, you're out there playing chess. I know pass rushing is a lot of, setup and, getting the guy to do something based off what we did before and then taking advantage where we think he's going to set. And he's a very intelligent pass rusher. And I think running games, we're going to be very, it's going to be fun to see, fun to do together.
Calais, going back to kind of getting reps in the preseason, in terms of player and team evaluation, how do you compare the impacts of playing the preseason games and now having so many joint practices?
I mean, I think obviously the game has changed. When I was first starting, we were doing 2-a-days and everything was pads every day. And, nowadays, whether the system's set up, to get that good quality work, sometimes you got to go get somebody else. It gets very monotonous going against the same people over and over again. And, what moves to work to beat, the guys here on our team because you get so many reps. We get some. I think going against somebody else, you have to kind of prepare, and it helps you get ready for, the season because each week you're going to get somebody different, whole different lineup, different style, different scheme. And so I think when you have those practices against other teams, you get that kind of like, okay, I got to come in with a different game plan. And then you get a chance, okay, like, yesterday I did this, and then, this is the response, and today I'm going to try something different, and kind of just, it just gives you different ways to kind of really perfect things in your mind. So, I mean, it's good in that way, bad in others, I guess, it's just how it goes. But, I think everything is give and take and, pros and cons to everything. But I think we got a lot out of last week in Miami. And, I think going into this week, it's going to be fun to see, getting some of the guys out there who are going to be playing on Sunday, competing. It's going to be fun to see.
Calais, you were talking about in free agency. You saw some of those pieces that the Falcons are putting together. It made it more intriguing for you to come here. Now that you've been here, you've been around that, been a part of this defensive line, what gives you the confidence that this was the right decision for you to be here?
Yeah, I was just, telling some of my friends and family to help me make my decision, like, this is a good choice. We're going to be really good, I expect us to go out there and play some good football. So I got a whole lot of confidence. You see it every day in the work we put in, and the scheme is great. And I just can't wait to go out there and show it.
Time for one more?
Yeah, you said you all put it together really nicely and just touched on that. What type of challenge would you all have against the Bengals here on Friday? A team that went to the AFC Championship game last year. You all played them twice.
Yeah, I think this would be a great challenge. I mean, they're a very potent offense. They can put points up quickly, and just have an incredible receiving core, talented running backs. They got the whole package, and so they're going to be very stout. And I think it would be good for us to kind of get a chance to go against their level of talent and see where we're at. I think the biggest thing in preseason is just getting in position to put yourself in position to succeed for the season. And so I think I mean, if you win or lose, it really doesn't matter. You get to start back over. It's just working on your technique and going full speed against somebody else and really challenging other talented people. So I think it's gonna be fun. I really think that game plan wise, like we don't get the game plan in preseason, so it's just gonna be going out there and competing. I think when you start putting the game plan, all that stuff in there, it definitely changes the ball game. So you can't overdo preseason because they're not game planning against us either. But I think it's a good measuring stick for just where we're at, talent wise and our technique and how hard we've been working.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Art was saying earlier today that he had talked to you, I guess, at some point, that less snaps could be better for you. You've played so much.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, how long did it take you to kind of say, okay, I'm good with that too, and see maybe where that could be a benefit?
I always have my body ready, prepared to go as long and as much as I need to go, and but at the same time, I'm always willing to do what's best, for the team. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be ready to go however much I need to. It's something that definitely was brought up to me over the past couple years, and but also, having some guys that's ready to play right now it definitely helps, and the more, especially playing on defensive line, which is such a high energy exerting position, it's good to have guys ready to roll in, however that may look. So, however it go down, I'm ready to go.
You mentioned you were joking about comfort before, but is there more comfort for you potentially now to maybe take a step back and play less snaps than there might have been in the last couple of years?
That's not really my decision. I don't know if comfort in it is the word, but when my number's called, I'm be ready. I'll be ready to do my job at a high level, and at the end of the day, try to be the most productive I can, and however that may look. But I plan on being a major part, of the defense going forward, and playing my role like I have, and but however it go, what I'm saying, I'm down, so that's the coach's decision.
I'm sorry, can you see where, since you guys have so much more depth now and so much more talent around you, that you could be kept fresher through the season?
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. Everything, they're just not throwing darts at a wall. It's like everything by plan, everything by plan. And Coach Dick been very transparent with me, through the process, and I appreciate him for that. So I'm excited to see, how to turn out.
You've seen a lot of changes here these last couple of years, I'm sure. What's it like for you now to be in the defensive line room and look around and see what you have in there?
It feel good. Definitely feel good. Like I said before in the presser, man, I always love all my teammates that I play with, but it definitely is a little different feeling, and I'm excited to go out here and bring it to life, get to play some coming up here soon, and then get ready for the regular season. So I'm sure it's going to pay dividends to have a group of guys that's ready to go out there and compete.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I was just going to say, I don't know yet the personnel groupings you guys are going to use in different situations, but a guy like Calais Campbell, having him as a teammate, how will he benefit you when you guys are on the field at the same time?
He's a guy who had a lot of success in the league, so he's going to garner a lot of attention, whatever position he is in out there. So it's going to help everybody. And also just his knowledge of the game and the things that he's been through, having more years in the league than me, and, just things that he may see things a little different, and that's going to help not only myself but everybody in the room.
Great, sort of bouncing off that question, having a guy like Calais and now David on there with it's a wealth of experience now on this defensive line. What does that do to a defense? Is it sort of like the thing with the offensive line where having consistency and experience sort of helps everyone on that line get better? Yeah,
I would say that. I think having experience definitely helps everybody get better, and being highly skilled players, in a highly competitive league, is the X's and O's matter, but it's the players out there that make the difference, So I'm excited to have high caliber guys go out there and go hunt with, and I think you'll be able to see the difference, just us playing together, versus, me being the guy for this team or David being the guy for the team he come from, and Calais being the guy for putting us all together is just going to make it better, and I think we all can benefit from it, everybody involved.
And we saw just how successful some of the backups were against the Dolphins. Is that just all Ryan Nielsen? Is that you guys sort of buying into what this attack?
It's everybody involved, man. Everybody involved. Those guys putting in work. Coach pushing us hard. We all learning from each other, and so it's a combination of all hands on deck involved in that D-line room, man. We got a bevy of coaches, man, in there that's pouring into us every day, So, but also at the same time, we got high standards for each other, whether it's me pushing, Taquan Graham, Timmy Horn, you know what I'm saying? So pushing them guys to be better, or they pushing me to be better, when I may be having an off day or something like that. So it's all hands on deck, and that make everybody just want to go harder for each other, especially coming out the D-line room.
Grady, going back to last week, what do you get out of joint practices compared to playing preseason games?
You get a fresh look. You go against some guys that you don't see every day, and it also brings out another level of competition in you. One, just it's like it's almost like a private game almost, because you're going live reps against, other than tackling the quarterback and tackling people to the ground, but against an opponent, and everybody got a common goal, and on defense, that's for us to stop them from getting yards, stop them from getting touchdowns, and you can see how you measure up against somebody that you don't see every day. So I think they're very important. I've grown to like them.
For you, do you have a preference of which one you like better?
As far as joint practice versus, this joint practice experience has been new for me the past 3 years, and I've had a lot of training camps where we've just been straight team. But they different, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely like the experience, and then I think I like having the joint practice. Maybe one joint practice is good for me. We did 2 last year, and that's a little. I'm like, all right. let's get back on the schedule now. but now, however it go, man, I'm always ready. But I definitely enjoy going against other guys when the opportunity presents itself.
Grady, a lot of the guys today were talking about attack and aggressive and how that's something that Ryan Nielsen says all the time.
Every day.
How much is that embedded in what you guys are trying to do on defense this year?
Everything is embedded in everything. You know, that's his motto, attack and aggressive. You know, we talk about it every day. Everything you do, the way you walk, the way you talk, you know what I'm saying? He on you. Your posture need to be right. But at the end of the day, like your swagger, you know, how you carry yourself is you carry to the field. You know what I'm saying? And your mindset. And it's been good. Everybody buying in, and it's good to see the defense play with that. You need that as a defense.
Did it shock you a little bit the first time he yelled that? Because apparently he does a lot.
Not too much stuff really shocked me like that at this point, but it was a welcome feeling. You know what I'm saying? It gets you going, get your blood going, because just as a human being going to work every day, you're going to have them days where it's like, but to have that consistent push, you know, that consistent guy on you to be we don't get this day back, you know what I'm saying? Attack aggressive, like time to go and get your mind right every day, and we need that.
Did you say he tells you to sit up straight?
No, I'm just talking I ain't. Like, as far as your posture, you don't want to be walking around like you hate being at work. So just as far as no, he don't tell us to do that.
Calais kind of talked about the, treating kind of that the defensive line can almost be like hockey lines, kind of like rotating out as much, just like you're going to play your hardest and then rotate.
Yeah.
For you, how, even though you want to play every snap, but do you think about the possibility of how more refreshed you can be, especially not going, you're double team most of the time last year, and what that can mean for you and just your numbers and stuff?
I'm just excited. I'm just excited for stuff going forward. However it come up, I'm all in. And I'm gonna take it how it come. We all entering. For me, like you said, I've played a lot of snaps. But I'm still not gonna be like the person to be like, take my snaps down, you know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I can see the other side of it as well. But I just don't have the experience to be like, I know how I'm gonna feel in this role, And that's just being real, because I haven't been in that position, to where it's like 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3. You know what I'm saying? However we go, I haven't experienced that. So I may love it, it may not be my favorite thing. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to enjoy, the opportunity to go out there and play football at the highest possible level that I can. So I'm excited to see how everything works out.
We'll ask you at the end of the season how you like it then.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. We'll ask that in the season. We'll see how everything turn out. Just know I'm very optimistic.
I saw you also posted on Instagram just the bit about Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
And what he did with the life-saving action. Just have you talked to him since then, and what was that?
I haven't talked to him since then. I talked to him maybe once or twice in the off season. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in touch. When you spend as much time as you do with certain coaches and stuff, you always watch it from afar, see how they doing. But for that to be a league-wide story, I just want to show them some love. On a repost with the league reposted it. So, I think it's just shining some light on some good that he doing, and that's all it was. But definitely, I always got love for Rod and the things he doing. And that was an awesome story. So, yeah.
All right. That's all the time we got. Thanks, Grady.
Yep.
David, apologies if you've already gotten this question, but for a guy like you, a veteran in this league, what does the preseason do for a player like yourself who's going to get some reps this week?
Oh, it's just getting to hit somebody, just getting to hit somebody and playing football. It's a great thing playing against somebody else every time. You get a different look, especially right now since you're in the training camp grind. You're looking forward to hitting someone else. Yeah.
Is there something that each one of you guys sort of brings to the table as individuals that kind of, as a collective, makes you guys more strong?
I feel like it's more of a group thing, It's more of we do this all as a group. We all go in there, the pass rush and the run stuff. We kind of just communicate that through as a group and just, try to have everybody on the same page. I feel like that's the biggest thing in our room as well.
Sure. And last question I've got is this past week against Miami. Obviously in training camp we've been seeing what you guys can do. The backups really made a dent there in that game as well. What should fans and people be excited to see from the starters? Seeing that domination sort of from guys who are expected to be backups. See what the starters can do.
Yeah, it's just the big things about us. Just going out there executing. Regardless of what's out there, what's being said, I feel like we gotta take it upon ourselves and just go out there and do our job. This is what we get paid for, and
David, as a veteran player in the league, when you
how do you kind of go about the balance of like evaluating a team between a preseason game and a joint practice? Because obviously joint practice has become such a big thing now in the preseason.
Joint practice, you really don't have much to go about, because it was a first joint practice or first game too, so you kind of don't have that much tape to go off of, because there might have been changes over the off season, but going to the second week, kind of have a tape of preseason, kind of watch and see what their offenses do and see how they align in certain things. So I feel the second preseason game is way better, because you have a lot more to study. Yeah.
Do you still get excited knowing that this is going to be your first time entering this new home stadium?
Yeah. It's great, but then it's just another opportunity playing ball. Like it's just another opportunity going out there and playing. I think that's the funnest part of it.
You said earlier that it's important not to get lost in the days. How do you personally do that during training camp when it is such a grind?
You got to stick in there. Either family, teammates, friends, like you got to stick in there. But regardless of the long hours, you still have to find a balance in there. The biggest thing is you find the balance in your friends, your teammates, or your family. Like just kind of have certain people kind of keep you level-headed, I guess.
All right, then quick. What day is it?
Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually, David, I have one more question for you. There was a debate of how to say Bijan. We've heard it's Bijan, and then we've heard Bijan. How do you pronounce it?
Bijan? Yeah.
Don't let his mom
It might be the Montreal way. It might be the way they say it in Montreal.
So his mom says it's Bijan. So.
Yeah, it's French. Yeah, it's French. It's Montreal for you. Yeah.
That's all I do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Been going, practice, and looking forward to get some action in the game, I guess.
I mean, everything's been doing great. I feel like I'm getting better day in and day out, not only on a physical standpoint, but also mentally in the playbook and stuff. So definitely doing good.
And one of the things talking about with Coach was going up against David, one of the strongest guys in the league. Has that been helping you in this process?
Oh yeah, helping me. And sometimes I'm a competitor. It gets frustrating a little bit, getting beat by him and Grady. But I feel like it's gotten me better, and I'm definitely excited, to compete.
Do you feel like you got a good grasp of like that, fully making that transition from left tackle to left guard? Obviously, the space and the separation between the players is going to be different. But have you feel like you made that transition well, or you feel like you got a good grasp of it yet?
I feel like I'm getting better into it. Obviously, there's certain things here and there that you can see that I'm a tackle. Sometimes my hand, tends to get, high and stuff. So I think that's just, how can I say, a routine of me playing kind of high at tackle. But, I've been doing a good job, and, the plan they got in store for me has been doing good right now. So, yeah.
You said sometimes it's frustrating when you get beat. What was going through your head the first time that you lined up across from those guys?
I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I was like, damn, like I was just focused. I was just focused on like holding up and not messing up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I'm kind of slowly making that transition, and I don't need to focus as much on like the playbook. It's kind of become natural to me, and I can just focus on the technique and be a better, guard.
How beneficial can those reps against this defensive line in particular be for you?
You said, can you repeat that?
How beneficial can the reps against this defensive line be for you?
I mean, it's probably one of the best defensive line, that I'm gonna face all year. So I think, being able to come in and day out, and then, work on my craft, and also for them work on their craft and just going at it. And the way we practice, we're physical, we're intense. So I feel like it's just getting me ready for that next step whenever it happens.
I think when you line up against those guys like Grady and David, we see it on the field just because of their experience. But you yourself, what is it about them that makes them so tough to block? Is it like power, or is it what is it about them?
I feel like they got so much experience on like using the body leverage, and like they can sense where you're like out of balance and use that against you. I feel like it's just their sense for the game.
So you're going to get ready to go and didn't play last week. Now you get ready to go in. The starter's going to play, so you're going to be able to get some snaps this week. So what's your mindset going to this game to be able to get out there for the first time?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the the jitters, the nervousness of the first NFL snap out the way. So I'm excited to compete and go in there, and obviously from where I'm from, I'm just grateful to be able to be in a stadium, NFL stadium, and play at this level. So I'm grateful for it.
How serious do those first snap jitters get?
Oh, they're serious. They're serious, man. they serious. But like once you get that first play out the way, you're good. You just get in that routine and get on the road. So that's pretty good.
Is the hope going against this defensive line when you go up against another one, it's gonna be like, oh, this is easy in comparison?
I wouldn't say easy, but like you've been prepared, physically, mentally, and you've been tested. So I feel like once you go up against another team, you're prepared. I would call it prepared.
Matthew, I want to take you back a little bit back to the Senior Bowl. Like when we got a chance to meet, encounter with the Falcons and everything like that. Was there a sense then that you were going to potentially be drafted to move to guard, or was it kind of like, hey, I'm just trying to put the best thing out on the field?
So in the draft process, it was kind of bouncing back and forth, like tackle and guard. Some teams saw me at tackle, some teams saw me at guard, and ever since I met with the Falcons, they have been, open about me making the transition at guard. And for me, it didn't really matter, just being able to be in this stage and this level. I was grateful for it. But, it was different teams had me at tackle or guard. And, I get the chance to be here, so I'm not complaining.
Did it kind of mess with your psyche a little bit? Because, you're playing left tackle all your
career.
No
doubt. It definitely messes up with you a little bit technique-wise because, it's completely different being out in space and now you're just in a tight area, but I feel like that transition's been doing good, and Coach Led's been helping me a lot, and the older guys. I got Chris, I got Jake next to me, and I got some guys that took a lot of snaps, so they've been able to help me.
Well, how has Coach Lever been influential with your game so far?
He's been great. Not only on the field but off the field, just helping me learn in the playbook and getting adjusted to the speed of the game because it's completely different from processing in college and processing the playbook out there with David and Grady across from you, and you got to process 10 different things, and he's been helping me a lot.
What kind of is your process? Because Clark said he likes to read and write things down. So what is kind of your process in making sure?
Me, with my process, I like to draw plays. That's how I'm like visual. Less than we can talk about a play. It's not gonna stick with me unless I really draw it up. Yeah.
Do you do that for every play, like multiple times, or just once and then it's kind of it?
Yeah, I draw it once and I can come back to it in my notebook. And I like also watching the film, so they got the cut-ups from last year, so I see how the older guys did it last year, and it can kind of give me an idea.
There's kind of a debate going on that started from one of your teammates. How do you say number 7's first name?
The proper way to say it is Bergeron, but I say Bijan.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Why do you say Bijan?
I don't know.
It's his name. I told you guys how to say his name. That's how you say his name. I don't understand this.
It's just natural to me. I don't know. I just said Bijan, and I asked him. He's like, the proper word said Bijan, but it comes out natural like this, and he doesn't mind it. So yeah. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey Troy, back to looking at guys at the position. I guess Caden and Demario Davis, you look at how they flowed together last year. Is that one of the ones you might wanna look at?
Yeah. Obviously Caden's on our team now, and we're happy to have him because he's a great player.
Yeah.
Just kind of sitting in meetings with him, learning from him out on the field. Just trying to pick up little bits and pieces, whatever you can.
Anything from Demario that might be useful too?
He's been one of the best around for quite a while now. It's just how I think he plays attacking and aggressive style of football. It gets downhill. Obviously some of the scheme stuff that they ran is maybe a little bit of carryover, so it's good.
How have you been able to transfer your game to that style of play, right? Because obviously it was a little bit different last year, but coming into this year with Ryan Nielsen, what he wants to do, and you having guys that played in that system, how have you kind of prepared yourself mentally to be able to execute like that?
Yeah, you just go over the playbook, look at the film, and then just playing downhill. Playing downhill as linebackers is a lot better than playing passive off the line. Being able to see things and dissect things quickly, and then read and react and play fast.
I know we've talked about kind of how it's different for you this year as opposed to this point last year, but when you're in that first preseason game, you're not playing because the rest of the stars aren't playing. Like, how do you approach that? Like, just kind of settling in as that starting linebacker.
Yeah, football players want to play football, and so that's not. It was kind of a weird feeling not playing. So I'm definitely excited to get out there this week and fly around and have some fun.
Do you wish a guy like Michael Walker best of luck? He's got landed in Chicago. And
yeah, Mike's my guy. I love him. Be friends with him forever. I'm happy he's there, and wish him all the best for sure.
Coach, defensive line has been really a big focus of this training camp so far.
What are you expecting to see out of your starters here with David, Grady, and Calais expected to get some reps on Friday?
Yeah, those guys have worked hard throughout training camp, have really bought into the new system and the techniques that they've been taught. And I'm really excited to see those guys play, all such good players, great human beings, and excited to see them play. And it'll be my first time seeing them play in a live game. So it's going to be exciting, and I look forward to it.
And from your perspective, you know, these are guys who have been in the league for a minute now, Grady, David, and obviously Calais. What does the preseason do from your perspective? We talked to David about it. From your perspective, do for guys like that?
Well, it number one, conditioning. It gives them an opportunity to condition themselves physically, polish their tools, their fundamentals and technique, so when the real season starts, they're game ready.
When it comes to getting Calais back out on the field, I mean, what does he do for not just, you know, this defensive front, but the defensive unit as a whole, just his presence out there?
Just his presence out there, I mean, it just commands leadership. And he's such a friendly guy. He's a friendly giant. You know, I mean, he's a big human being, but what a personality that he has, and how hard he works, playing so many years in the league, and the attention to the details still of playing so many years in the league. It's been awesome to watch him.
What do you think having a guy like Calais around could do for someone like Zach Harrison, who's coming in, a rookie, and trying to just kind of get his feet wet a little bit?
It's a great opportunity for Zach to be in a room with Calais. We'll be in the meeting room and talking as coaches. Coach Nielsen will be talking, and all of a sudden you hear Calais' voice with a tip, all right? And for Zach to be able to hear that, not just Zach, but the whole room to be able to hear it, but just Zach being able to watch Calais and to go through camp, the grind of camp, all right, and to understand how to take care of his body through the grind of camp as a rookie from a guy who's done it for so long, it's priceless.
Coach, how beneficial will the depth on this defense be for this season, not just preseason, but just looking ahead?
I'm sorry?
How much will this depth on this defense be beneficial?
It'll be greatly beneficial, particularly up front. A lot of bodies, a lot of good player bodies. Yeah. And so we'll be able to work a rotation and keep fresh bodies in there to be able to play hard.
One of the things that Arthur has consistently said about DeMarco was that when he watched tape on him in Alabama, he was always near the ball. You were around him a lot in Tuscaloosa.
I was.
Take us through what it was like being around him as a college player and how you've seen him evolve so far in preseason.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with what he's done here. 2 years watching him in Alabama. Practice is hard there, and DeMarco, the off season is hard, and DeMarco's he's a worker, and he's learned how to work with a good work ethic, and I think he has done a great job coming here, learning the system, maybe some new techniques, some new fundamentals, and I think he has picked those things up really well, and it showed last Friday night in the game.
How can he fit in this defense?
Well, he's going to give us added depth in the back end. He's going to continue to learn, and he will be able to learn from Jesse Bates, an older guy, a guy that's been in the league. So he's just going to give us that added depth, on defense and probably as a special team player.
Arthur said, to follow up on that, Arthur said he's the same guy who they scouted at Alabama, showed up on Friday night. You kind of alluded to that. What are some of those techniques or even just mentality that you saw carry over from his college days to even his first chance? Yeah, well, you know what he was in college? He was a hitter. Yeah. He was a hitter. And in that game Friday night, multiple tackles. Coming from the safety position. He's not he doesn't turn down a hit, and that's what he was at Alabama. I think where he had to improve was in the coverage aspect of the game, and our secondary coaches have done a great job teaching him not just the coverage concepts, but I think the fundamentals of playing the position better. He was a hitter. All right, he is a bright kid. He's a smart kid, and looking forward to him watching him play in his pro career.
Where did you see him grow the most in Tuscaloosa?
Where did I see him grow the most? Probably just learning the defense. At the University of Alabama, it's very complex system, and with a lot of coverages. And I just saw him grow and understand those things better, and his football IQ, I just continued to shoot up.
When it comes to your relationship with Ryan Nielsen, and I know y'all go way back, but how have you kind of seen him evolve in the role that he's in now, even
Yeah.
A couple weeks into preseason?
Yeah, it's I'm so happy for Ryan. He has worked so hard to get into the position that he's in, and he has always been a really, really good football coach, and he just continues to get better and better. And I'm just so happy for him, and I think he's doing a wonderful job with the players, with the whole unit, just bringing them together from an emotional standpoint, from a state of mind, not just teaching the defensive system, but just them understanding the standard of what we want as a defensive coaching staff.
I was talking to someone, I can't remember who it was, but they made the joke that they're like, I'm pretty sure like Ryan goes to bed like saying attack and aggressive like in his sleep. How do you kind of see that mentality take over in this defensive front even now?
Sure, it starts with Ryan at the top, all right, and the players are picking up that personality, and from day one it was attack, aggressive, all right, and you can hear them. Can you feel it?
I felt it.
Yeah, you felt it.
Well, down the whole body. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
But the players feel that.
Yeah.
All right, the players feel that passion from Ryan. All right, and so it just rolls off Ryan onto the players.
And to you, clearly.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, I've always had that. All right, but I love it when Ryan gets that look in his eyes.
He gets so I think it was Caden Ellis said he gets kind of like a crazy look.
Yeah, he gets that crazy look, and watch out.
Everyone collectively jumped.
That's
It was
great.
Yeah, well-
Catch us on our toes. Yeah. No, I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, great. What is something that we talk about Jerry Gray being a teacher of the secondary and someone who along with just coaching, just is a really good teacher. How has he kind of helped in your development, even kind of early in camp?
One of the biggest things that he preaches is knowing your technique, knowing your assignment, and I feel like that's something that he's been on me about and on everybody in the secondary. And I'm just grateful to have a legend like that coaching me.
I saw the play in Miami. Looked like he kicked your ankle got kicked on a pass breakup down there. How'd that go? And I guess fortunate that it wasn't real bad and was able to get back.
Like you said, fortunate that it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Glad to be back out here every single day, getting better, stacking more and more reps. But yeah.
Was that your? How did you see it happen? People want to know how you saw it. Did you get kicked? And
Oh yeah, no, it was just a kick. Yeah, try to make a play. It was a third down situation. Try to make a play, went over top of the receiver, and ended up kicking my own player. I took it to the shin, it hit his knee, and I got the short end on the stick on that play.
Do you, obviously have the opportunity to go out and play on Friday? It's been a while since you've got to hit someone not on your own team. I mean,
Right.
How excited are you to go out there on Friday and get to run around a little bit?
I'm very excited. Excited to be back out there with the boys and my brothers, and just want to continue to get better in camp.
Clark, you said continuing to get better and stacking days, but where do you feel like you've grown the most so far?
I would say technique overall. The biggest thing I think for a corner is being consistent in your technique and all of your reps, and so for me it's the technique piece of it, and then just overall understanding the scheme, understanding the grand scheme of what we're trying to do defensively and how my role, how my 111 fits into that defensively.
Huxtable was just telling us about the attack and aggressive attitude of Ryan Nielsen and how it can get kind of loud sometimes. I'm assuming that you noticed that when he's about to get really loud, right? Please explain this to us.
Most definitely, that's been something that's been yelled at us, from day one, attacking aggressive, and I'm super grateful for Ryan Nielsen and the way that he coaches, because I feel like it resonates throughout the whole defense. Everybody's kind of trying to play on that same string of things and really play attacking guys aggressively.
You hear it in your sleep. I feel like you do.
Yeah. You definitely can hear his voice when you even say the words. You're like, oh.
Is he like one of the I don't know, like a tough coach in the guys? I forget who was it post game Miami, where he was like, he told us to stop smiling or something like that, like during warm-ups or something. I forget who it was. Who was it? Jesse. Yeah. Is he just like one of those like hard, like, you know what I mean, like no fooling around, like all business kind of guy, or is he like messing with you when he's like, stop smiling, don't lie?
I feel like he's got both sides. I've definitely seen that tough side, like you guys say he is, attacking aggressive, but I would say he's got both sides, but he's definitely a super, super tough coach.
When it comes to just in your rookie season too, like what's it been like for you? Like Coach was talking about kind of like, for you guys, you kind of have to learn how to like ease into it, not give it your all, like, in the first preseason game that you play and so on. So what's it like for you kind of getting this adjustment period?
Like I've already said, I feel like it's just stacking reps day by day, getting better every single day. Just learning from your mistakes. For me as a rookie, gonna make mistakes, still trying to learn the scheme, the system and everything. But just, not getting down on yourself, staying, even kill, if you will, and just playing hard and playing aggressive and attacking aggressive.
Who's been the biggest mentor for you, or someone that's kind of taken you under their wing?
There's been a lot of guys. It'd be crazy to single out just one of them, but I feel like it's been a good amount of dudes. Defensively, I could say Jesse, Hawkins, and all of those dudes. Calais has said a few words to me, and Grady. All of those dudes have been guys that I feel like have helped me out with this transition to the pros.
How beneficial is it to have so much knowledge on the defensive side of the football from all those veterans? You mentioned Calais would be one of those. How beneficial is that?
It's amazing. I mean, it's like being a kid with a bunch of teachers in your class instead of other students, Got a bunch of dudes, that really know the game and really understand it at a very high level, and I'm trying to soak it all in from every one of them.
Clark, question for you. Bijan or Bijan? How do you say it?
I never thought about that. I just go, hey, what up, Bijan? I guess it's Bijan. Yeah, I never thought about that.
We've heard it's both. His mom says it's Bijan, but he says he goes by either. So.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask him. I know something I don't know.
What's it like from a competition standpoint? I mean, when you just look at the depth chart alone at cornerback, there seems to be a lot of guys there that want to see some playing time. Just for you, what's your mentality every day, just knowing the fact that there's a lot of competition there?
I think that's what makes this job so fun, knowing that every day there's another man that's right next to you that's gonna work his butt off and give it his best. So you got to do the same thing. You got to stack days and put up your best foot forward every single day.
What's been the biggest adjustment in training camp just from college when you were there?
In Georgia, the humidity. Say the same thing. On a serious note, I would say just the speed of things. Not even really on the field, just understanding, grasping concepts in the film room and everything, and being able to apply it right now to the field is something that I've been continuing to try to get better at and continue to try to grow in and get better at. Yeah.
You talk about stacking days and reps. How did you learn to do that maybe at a slower pace where you absorb it rather than trying to get it all in at once right at the start as a rookie?
Talking to some of the older guys. I would say talking to some of the older guys, not letting any moment be too big, not letting days get ahead of you, just staying on, keeping your head where your feet are. And for me, just reviewing things. I'm a big I like to read, so I like to reread everything over and over again. Write down the same thing over and over again, whether it's the third or fourth time the coaches are saying, I'm gonna try to write it down again so that it kind of cements it in my mind. But for me, that's kind of what I do.
You called the veterans like other teachers, and now you're mentioning reading a lot. Were you big in studying and school and whatnot growing up?
I would say, I can't say all the way throughout school I was that guy. Definitely not middle school or high school. Probably at the end of my high school career, probably senior year, junior, senior year, I kind of, shifted gears and was like, all right, I'm going to be a little bit more academic. But I got better in that area, and in college for sure, I definitely took it serious.
When it comes to reading, is there do you like reading books, or is it just like reading, are you an avid reader outside the game, or just when it comes to reading?
Yeah, I like to read books. I mean, for me, I'd say I'm more of a self-help type of person. I like to read about confidence, learning about the mind. My brother's a psychology major, so I get to kind of hear from him a little bit, and that's kind of the area that I like to read a little bit.
So can he kind of help you? Because, the game is mentally taxing, right? So, I mean, it's kind of nice to have, I'm sure some of us have therapists, we all do, but, so you have a brother that can kind of help you, so what's that been like?
It's been good. He's actually a football player too, so he gets to, before he come and try to dissect my mind, he got to do his own first. So now he's actually right down the road at Tennessee State. So he's a psychology major, and he's the dude that I kind of go to when I want to talk to him about everything going on.
Any advice that he's given you, or anything that he said that stuck with you in terms of psychology of the game?
Let me think. Last time we really
he's younger, right?
Yeah, he is younger.
So,
he's 14. We're 14 months apart,
That's
so
right,
we're dang near twins. So when he's gonna come and give me some advice, I'm like, I really
like,
listen. I really listen
You
because I'm
do.
like, hold on now, like, what you got to say, little bro? But I would say nothing really in specific. The biggest thing for me is I'll come to him and I'll tell him, hey man, this is what's going on. I'm in camp. mentally, the mental fatigue is what gets guys. And he's like, hey, bro, just keep on stacking days. The same thing I say. We're twins, like I said, and just keep on stacking days and stay mentally above. And we're believers, so he'll tell me hit the good book, hit the Bible, and so that's kind of where we keep it.
Is there a point, can you remember a point maybe during your career where like he helped you, like you were just like, I'm stuck on something or I'm thinking about something over and over, and he kind of shifted your perspective on it maybe?
I would say relationships with coaches, friends, players, because he is a psych major, like being able to talk to him about the way people think, the way people, giving him real world examples and stuff, he's able to kind of help me out with that,
Do you ever have to tell him to not analyze you? Just be my brother for a second,
I think not really, because we kind of like are able to kind of separate that. I'll tell you another story. So he's a corner as well. I'm a corner, so of course we're both competitors. So I'll send him reps, he'll send me reps, and I'm like, you should have did this. He's like, you should have did that. I'm like, you should have did this. And so we'll go back and forth. So, but when it comes to psychology, I don't know much about that. So I got to kind of, listen to him on that. I'm a business major, so he coming to me with anything business, anything like that, I can help him out. But
balance.
yeah, as it keeps us both on our toes.
Do you maybe on a bye week to get over there and watch him?
That'd be awesome, actually. I'm looking. That'd be so cool.
Hey, Rich, how's the off-season been so far? Getting used to new people and Jesse Bates in particular, and how's all that coming back there on the back end of the defense?
Yeah, man, everything been good. The whole entire defense, we all coming together each and every day, finding out new things about each other, just building that bond. I'm looking forward to Friday. We get to get out there, the first team, get to compete this Friday.
How would you characterize how different the defense is going to be this year versus what it was, last year and the year before?
I mean, last year, but I think we're just going to be attacking a little more. Just aggression. We got a lot of new playmakers in the back end. So I think guys just going to be out there being aggressive.
You said attack and aggressive. It's embedded into all of you
Yes,
guys
it is.
because Ryan Nielsen
Yes,
says
it
it
is.
every single day.
Every day.
The first time that you guys had meetings, he apparently yelled it. He said attack and aggressive. What
Yeah.
was that like?
I mean, I already kind of knew what type of intensity he had. I had a phone call with him before he came in. But yeah, that first meeting, you got a little shot, attack, aggressive. I was like, okay, well, that's what we're gonna be. Let's do it then. But like you said, he said every single day just to remind us, and it is embedded, man. It come out in all my talk. So
You think about it in your sleep because a couple of guys seem to feel like they do.
I might have came out my sleep one time like, oh, attack. Nah, it's embedded though, but it's good. It's good for the defense. It's give us something to work toward.
What was that first phone call like with him? Do you remember that? Like, was it intense? Was it just kind of, was he trying to be laid back?
He was pretty, pretty chill. He was just himself, I got a little bit of his intensity about how he spoke, but he was really just wanting to figure out who I was, and big family guy, and appreciate him for that phone call, definitely.
Is he like that like all the time? Like, can you see him away from the football field and his intensity is like lower, or is he like?
I mean, it's levels to intensity, you know what I mean? I think he got like the practice intensity, the meeting room intensity is a little bit below that, and then like his chill self is probably like still above the average intensity. Like, so he really intense, man.
How was the game intensity from Friday?
So it's up there now. He definitely excited on game day.
Jesse was saying that he said he better not see anybody smiling on the sideline.
He might have caught me a couple of times. We was winning, man. He might have caught me. I don't know.
Is that gonna be hard for you? I mean, you smile a lot.
I do, but when I'm in between the lines, it's kind of hard. Guys out there trying to run you over and stuff. Kind of hard to smile, but it is what it is. Football.
In what ways do you get a sense that this defense has taken a step forward from last year?
Maybe just how quickly we bought into what's being coached, what the staff has tried to put into us, drill into us. We have a big goal this year. I think guys are really just buying into that, buying into each other. Just probably a little more.
What's the big goal?
Championship, baby. Championship.
Coach Smith has talked about that this is the most fun he's had coaching. Like,
Absolutely.
do you feel like the energy is different? Like, he's talks about the guys being more focused in practice. Like, you just feel like everything is kind of different this year?
I feel like it could be a little bit I'm going into my third season, so it's definitely like, a little pressure is off and having a little more fun, but definitely just this year, I don't know, it's just something about this year, maybe it's just the guys we have in here, the staff that we have, just the combination of both, and being able to go out there, and it's a lot of competition, and it's always fun when you're competing, so it could be a little bit of both. My third year, the staff, the teammates, all that together.
In your career, Is it more for you just kind of getting the rust off at this point? I mean, you're not going to get a ton of reps, but how do you use it?
How do you know how many reps I'm gonna get?
Well, you were projected starter, so I'm doubting you're going to be playing.
I mean, I don't care if I play a half, whole game, first quarter. It don't matter. Like, we're gonna go out there with same goal, attacking, aggressive. Just do our job, try to make plays. But third year, you've been around the block a couple times, so you know what to expect from most situations, I would say. So you have a little bit more experience in those situations. It's easier to attack them.
Between here and UCF, you've been on good teams and on bad teams, to say the least. How can you tell the difference between one? Like, or at what point do you get the sense that it might be one versus the other?
I mean, that's pretty hard to say, but I do know every team I've been a part of, it's the brotherhood that I look forward to the most because, I mean, coach is coach, staff is staff, but the players are out there. You have to be able to rely on your brother beside you. You're one of 11 every single play. Like, it doesn't matter, special team, defense, offense. You're one of 11. If you're not doing your job, how can the next man trust you to be where you at? And that's when plays get, all types of different stuff happen when you're not locked in together. So it's that brotherhood, that camaraderie that I feel like really propels teams to championship.
How can you, or how fast maybe does it take you to get a sense of whether that might be there or not with a specific team?
I mean, pretty early on. I'm a real people guy, so I really know, like, when guys are just meshing, I feel like this year everybody, well, really all years, but this year definitely I feel like a different sense of just togetherness, if we could say that.
We got to see the scheme with the backups last week, 4 turnovers, 5 sacks.
Yeah.
That showed that what they can do, and y'all might have some depth. What does the first team want to do when y'all go up against the Bengals on Friday?
Yeah, them boys set the tone last week. I mean, like, like I said, I was out there smiling. I'm having a good time. It was just, it was out there dominating, to say the least. And like I said, them setting the tone like that, we have to continue to try to raise the bar. It might be hard, but that's what we want, and they set a pretty high bar for us. We're going to try to go out there and replicate it.
Richie, what are you able to get out of these joint practices compared to preseason games? When it comes to, like, the competition aspect?
Joint practice, I mean, it's good on good, every single rep. And, games is like that play is over, okay, I gotta go to the next play. You never get it back. And joint practice, you might have 2 7-on-7 periods. You might have a 1-on-1 period, but you get like multiple reps. So you get to really like stack yourself up against, competition more than one time, one play at a time.
What have you seen from DeMarco Helms and how he's been able to grow throughout camp?
Yeah, he coming along, man. He it's really the book, and once he like, started grasping that more, like he really has been. But once he grasped that a little more, he be playing a little faster. He already out there smacking people. You seen him last week. He got a pick, just being in the right spot. So he definitely coming along. I'll be trying to give him little tips. I was just a rookie 2 years ago, so it's not really hard to remember those things. But I like what he's doing.
You say good on good. A lot of people say that. I don't know if anyone's ever asked what that actually means. What does that mean when you say good on good?
I just feel like it's it's the one-on-ones, and it's their best one group, your best one group, and y'all just competing the entire week of joint practice.
Hey, are you expecting a good match of the Bengals? Joe's he's hurt, but this team went to the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah,
it's a good preseason test for the defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't want to underestimate any opponent. First of all, like I said, whoever lines up out there, we just decided to go out there and play, man. They set a really high bar last week. We want to go out there and try to do what we do.
Yeah, talking with some of the rookies, I'm kind of fascinated on how they are kind of studying and how they grasp the playbooks. Do you remember, like, for Bergeron, he talked about that he has to draw them out.
Yeah.
And for Clark, he said he needs to read and write. Well, how did you kind of master the playbook, and what's kind of like your technique to get it down?
I'm a visual guy as well, and I love walkthrough. Kind of like I get to see. Like I said, it's not like one play and it's over. You never get it back. Like walkthrough, you get to see it. You can kind of see how you're gonna play against it. Okay, talk about it. That's how it is. If something else happens, talk about it. The game is just, or practice it. You know what I mean? It just goes so fast. Walkthrough, I really love walkthrough.